In recent years, horror movies have come back around to psychological manipulation and shock value. We look at films like Midsummer and The Witch and think about the deeper layers of the film. I feel like The Lighthouse is this year's best film for that. Directed by Roger Eggers from The Witch a few years ago, the film follows two lighthouse caretakers as they spend time on a rock in the middle of the ocean. As time goes on, the two go deeper and deeper into madness. As I said before, I think this may be the best film I've seen this year, and possibly one of the best of the decade. The film is simple on first viewing, but like any interesting psychological film, there are elements in which you could explore more into the depths of the film's themes. No pun intended. On a technical level, this is a beautiful piece of work. The 1.19.1 aspect ratio and the black and white 35mm cinematography by Jaron Bloschke gives this film a sense of foreboding atmosphere, and at the same time gives a sense of claustrophobia, like you are in the same room on the same island as these two lighthouse keepers. The music by Mark Corvin is probably one of the best I've heard in a film this year, and at times it got really under my skin. And just like with The Witch, Roger Eggers' attention to detail is really unrivaled. The dialogue, set construction, costume design, everything is so meticulously made and painstakingly detailed that I just sat back and got engrossed into the story of the film. Hell, it wasn't even until the film hit the credits that I began to think about a lot of these aspects. It should go without saying, as most of the internet has already, that Willem Dafoe gives one of his career best performances.
Daddy! Let Neptune strike ye dead, Winslow!
It is hard to believe that for as long as he has been acting, how long he has been dedicated to every role, good or bad they may be, that he has never won an Oscar for his talents. This was a role that was made for someone like Dafoe. A character that is equal parts fun and imposing, a character who can go on a monologue for nearly 10 minutes and make the monologue as ensnaring as the grip of a kraken. It is truly like listening to Shakespeare being performed. But what about the other co-star, the infamous sparkling new Batman Robert Pattenson? Well, he also gives the best performance of his career so far. I didn't think once about his past in Twilight, but rather as a character who is soft-spoken at first, but begins to wonder what the light in the lighthouse could hold. And there is even a part where Pattinson even matches to Dafoe's level of madness. And let's also talk about the location, because that is a character in of itself. The lighthouse itself kind of gives off an aura of Lovecraft just by how mysterious the light in the lighthouse may hold. Why one character is obsessed with it, how otherworldly it is presented, it seems like the light may be of Lovecraftian influence. As the film goes on and the characters lose their minds more and more, the house begins to deteriorate as well, the location matching with the story and the characters of the cursed island. The Lighthouse has a lot going under its surface, no pun intended again. People may walk away from a film like this and go, what the fuck was up with that thing? But if you know a thing or two about Greek mythology, or if you know a little bit about maritime tales, you can grab a bunch of meaning from this film. However, if you ever wanted to know the answer for how someone could have sex with a mermaid, then this film is for you. If not, it may come off as a shock. I think the film, personally, is about male persistence, how as men we feel entitled to things, such as what is so special about the torch in the lighthouse, such as information, such as women, things like that. You could also interpret the film as a power struggle between those who have knowledge and those who don't, a struggle between old and new, and that is just 5 feet under the waves of the film itself. There's probably a lot more that I haven't even read into. There is also meaning to be said about the uses of the mermaid and the lighthouse themselves. Both, I feel, are very similar to how both attract sailors. In classical lore, mermaids lure sailors to kill them, and the film kind of uses this in a slightly different way. Just as Pattinson's character is lured to the mermaid for lustful reasons, he is also lured to light for the advance of his own knowledge for other lustful reasons. There's so much to look into with the film that anyone can have an interpretation and be kinda correct. As you can see, I really enjoyed the film. I thought it was deep, was greatly executed, at times it is tense and effective. The Lighthouse is, at this point, my favorite film of the year, and I'm going to give The Lighthouse an A+. Thank you so much for listening in to my review of The Lighthouse. And be sure to stick around because I will be talking about the Eastern Oregon Film Festival, and then I'm going to talk about A Nightmare on Elm Street for my 1,000 subscriber video. So stick around and be sure to click that like button, comment what your favorite part about this movie is, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.